Good morning, everyone. The events of the film begin with Prince Xiao and his assistant imposing to wake him from sleep to tell him about his schedule for that day, but Xiao tells him he's bored because he practices the same things every day and asks his assistant to change tasks, then goes downstairs accompanied by a large number of guards. Xiao travels to attend an important meeting, and at the airport, Xiao takes advantage of the congestion at the airport and tries to escape the surveillance of the guards, who notice his absence and start looking for Xiao, who comes across a beautiful girl named Hannah, who is surprised by his strange dress and asks him why he has run away. Xiao tells Hannah that he's trying to escape from the men who want to kidnap him and asks her to help him. Suddenly, Xiao's guards appear and Hannah sees them and tries to escape with Xiao. After managing to escape from the guards, Hannah asks Xiao why these men want to kidnap him. Xiao lies to Hannah saying that he doesn't know the reason and doesn't tell her that he is the runaway prince. Hannah asks him to take care of himself and hide well so that these men can't catch him, and ask her permission to leave the car. She is busy, but Xiao holds her hand and asks her to stay by his side as he doesn't know the way and is afraid of the return of the people who want the kidnapper. Hannah replies to Xiao saying that she won't be able to help him any more than necessary and advises him to inform the police and decides to leave, but Xiao tries to catch up with her until they meet at the mall. Hannah buys some food and Xiao does the same, but the seller won't accept payment with the coins that are with Xiao because they are prince's coins and Hannah has to pay. The two sit down together to eat noodles and Xiao says he's never tasted such noodles in his life. Hannah asks him for more boxes of noodles and Xiao eats almost all of them, and after that Hannah says goodbye to Xiao because she has to go home, then get on the bus and try to leave. Xiao kept looking into Hannah's eyes, who was worried about him because he couldn't take care of himself without money or shelter, and she decides to come back to him and offers him all the money she has so he can go back to his family, and asks her for the phone number of one of her relatives to call, but Xiao tells her that he doesn't remember the phone number of any of his relatives. Hannah asks Xiao to give her his ID card to take to the address written on it, but Xiao lies to her for the second time and tells her that he doesn't have an ID card. Hannah tells him that the police won't be able to help him without an ID card and he can be imprisoned if he goes to the police station, and then decides to take Xiao with her to her parents' house. Hannah tries to enter the house with Xiao without her parents seeing them, then asks Xiao to hide in her room, and suddenly Hannah hears her mother's voice and tries to cover Xiao with a comforter and lies to her mother saying she needs to change her clothes, and after her mother leaves the room, Hannah asks Xiao to hide in the room where she puts her old toys. Hannah tells Xiao that he must stay in the playroom until he gets back to his parents and asks him not to make any noise so that his parents don't notice his presence, and the next day, Hannah goes to school and thinks of nothing but Xiao and is afraid that her parents will discover her presence at home and decide to run away from school and come home early. Hannah tries to enter the house quietly but is surprised by Xiao's presence with her parents, who ask her Xiao's identity. Hannah replies to her parents saying that she met Xiao on the street and he was about to be kidnapped. He had no money or ID. She sympathized with him and decided to help him as she was afraid he would bless himself on the street. Hannah tells her mother that Xiao can help her clean the house in exchange for letting him live with them until he finds his family. Hannah's mother accepts Hannah's idea, who offers Xiao some of her father's clothes and asks him to change his clothes because his shape seems strange, and after that Hannah takes Xiao to the supermarket to buy house orders. Hannah meets her classmate named Hyun and tells him that Xiao works as a maid at home, but Hyun doesn't believe her and tells her that he'll ask Xiao himself, and finally make sure that Hannah isn't lying and decides to invite them to have dinner with him. And during dinner, Hannah tells Hyun that Xiao belongs to a poor family and doesn't know the types of food on the menu. After finishing eating, Hannah and Xiao go home, and on the way, Xiao sleeps on Hannah's shoulder until they get home, and the next day, Xiao helps Hannah's mother clean the house as agreed with her, and during the cleaning, Xiao finds a book of Hannah's and discovers that she has forgotten it and tells his mother that he will bring the book to Hannah. Hannah's mother asks Xiao if he knows the way to the school, then draws him a map leading to the school, and meanwhile Hannah is at school and seems to have been expelled from class because she forgot the book at home. Xiao is trying to use the map to get to school, and suddenly Xiao meets one of her guards. Xiao's guard tells Xiao that all the cops are looking for him and asks him to go back to town with him because the cops might find him. but Xiao refuses and says he won't go back to his boring life where he used to live and asks the guard to help him get to the school where Hannah studies. Xiao's guard agrees to help Xiao after changing his clothes, and after they arrive at the school guard refuses Xiao to enter the school, and suddenly Hannah arrives in time and takes Xiao's book because her mother told her that Xiao is on his way to school. Hannah asks Xiao if he would like to enter the school and asks him to wait for her in front of the school's back fence. Xiao jumps over the fence and enters the classroom with Hannah, who is surprised by Xiao's intelligence as he answers the teacher's questions with precision. Hannah and Xiao decide to have lunch together, but Hannah's classmates try to get close to Xiao and get to know him because they admire his beauty. Hyun arrives at the place in time and tries to save Xiao from the students who are annoyed by Hyun's actions and decide to leave, and after finishing lunch, Hannah and Xiao go to sports class and exercise together, and suddenly, Hannah stumbles and Xiao tries to catch her, and Hannah realizes at that moment that Xiao is very handsome and she seems to focus on his facial features for the first time. Hannah goes home and continues to think about Xiao and is very upset when she remembers the girls trying to get close to him, and the next day, Hannah presents Xiao with a necklace before leaving for school and asks him not to take the necklace off his hands no matter what, because if he gets lost on the street again, people can bring him home thanks to the necklace. Xiao goes to sit with Hannah's mother, who was playing a card game with her friends, and helps her play until she wins the party, and after that Hannah comes home and is surprised when she notices that her mother has changed the way she treats Xiao and asks her why. Hannah's mother responds by saying that Xiao has become one of the family and will live with them. It's clear that Hannah's mother has decided to let Xiao live with them at home in order to help him defeat his friends in the card game, and the next day Hannah goes out with Xiao and asks him the real reason why his mother has changed the way she treats him, but Xiao responds by saying that he doesn't know the real reason and confesses to her that he is the prince of one of the cities. Hannah doesn't care about Xiao's words because she thinks he's only joking with her. Then the two walk together and see a large number of people standing together and discover that these people are gathering because they're taking part in the most beautiful newlywed photo contest, and the winner of the contest will receive the latest phone. Hannah and Xiao decide to enter the competition. Hannah wears a wedding dress, Xiao wears an elegant suit. Then they take photos together and all present admiring the beauty of Xiao and Hannah, who win the prize. Xiao vigorously kisses Hannah in front of all present who applaud them. Hannah and Xiao return home and Hannah gives Xiao the phone because he has no phone and tells him that she has saved his phone number and asks him to call her at any time if he needs her help, and the next day, Xiao walks down the street and meets one of her guards. Xiao's guard tells Xiao that the people of the city are trying to find him and want to know why he has disappeared, and also tells him that they could lose control of the city because of his actions, and asks him to return to the city as soon as possible and leaves. And meanwhile, Hannah is at school and sees a group of students bullying one of her classmates. Hannah asks the bullied students to stay away from her classmate and threatens to tell the principal, but the students refuse and warn her not to interfere or she'll be beaten along with her classmate. Hannah refuses to leave and one of the bullies tries to, but Xiao arrives in time and tries to save Hannah, beats everyone present and leaves the scene with her. The two return home and watch the news of the prince's disappearance on TV. But Xiao quickly changes the channel before his true identity is discovered, and after that, Xiao appears on TV while attacking the bullies at school. Hannah's mother and father are happy with the news, but Xiao is sad and decides to enter her room. Meanwhile, Xiao's personal assistant was watching TV and saw Xiao's photo, then ordered the guards to bring Xiao in, who was thinking of Hannah and her family and was very sad as he realizes that the moment of separation is approaching, and suddenly Hannah interrupts and Xiao asks her if she would be upset if he left home. Hannah responds by saying that she knows he doesn't belong to her family and that he might leave one day. The next morning, Xiao's personal assistant goes alone to Hannah's family home and takes Xiao with him, at which point Hannah remembers Xiao's words when he told her he was a prince, but she thought he was joking with her. Xiao looks into Hannah's eyes as he leaves in the car. Hannah runs after Xiao crying and tells him that she didn't let him leave the house and asks him to stay with her and come back to her. Then she goes home crying and sleeps where Xiao was sleeping, and the next day Hannah goes to school and is surprised that there are a lot of reporters who want to talk to her. The journalists ask Hannah about Xiao, but Hannah doesn't know how to answer the journalists' questions. Then she goes into the classroom, and it seems that all the students and teachers have discovered that the young man who was with Hannah at school is considered a prince, and they're very happy because they'd had the chance to see the prince and really talk to him. Meanwhile, Hannah's mother is sitting with her friends and playing cards with them, but she was thinking a lot about Xiao because she misses him. Hannah goes home and tries to call Xiao, but he doesn't answer her calls because his phone was with his PDA, and at the same time, Xiao tries to call her from the landline, but his phone was busy because Hannah is trying to call him too. The next day, Hannah goes to school, and it seems that signs of sadness appear on her facial features, and suddenly Hannah's classmate tells her that he heard Xiao is still in town and found out he was traveling today, and advises Hannah to go to the airport to say goodbye before his trip, but Hannah tells him she won't be able to catch him in time. Hannah's colleague suggests that Hannah take him to the airport in her car, and after he arrives, Xiao sees Hannah running towards her, and Hannah sees in his hands the necklace she gave him earlier. Xiao tells her that he always remains a member of her family even if he lives far away from them, and at the end of the film, Xiao says goodbye to Hannah and tells her that he has spent the happiest days of his life with her.
Subscribe and activate the notification bell. Share with your friends, and don't forget to leave a little like.